Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the Favoriot AIoT platform. We're going to unpack the architecture that powers the whole thing, turning simple bits of data from a sensor into really powerful business decisions.
So let's start with this question, right? How does that actually happen? You've got a tiny device somewhere out in the world collecting some information, just a little beep or a number. But how does that raw data travel, get organized, and then actually become something you can act on? Well, that's the exact journey we are going to map out today.
At the very heart of this whole process is something called IoT middleware. The best way to think of it is like a universal translator and a traffic controller all rolled into one for the Internet of Things. It's this essential software layer that lets the whole system work. It's kind of like those standard layered models, the ones that power the internet itself. This layer is what stops the hardware and the applications from speaking completely different languages, which, believe me, saves developers a ton of time and headaches. Okay, so let's dive right in. Every single IoT solution, it doesn't matter how complex it is, it has to start somewhere. And that somewhere is always right here, in the physical world. This is the very first layer of our architecture. It could be, say, an Arduino monitoring the moisture in some soil, or a Raspberry Pi tracking a shipping container, really any smart device you can think of. This thing is the true source of our data. It's the very beginning of the entire information chain.
All right, so you've got data sitting on a device. Now what? Well, you have to get it to the cloud. That's where all the magic happens. This really critical step is called data ingestion, and it is all about communication.
The Favoriot platform, you'll see, is built for flexibility. It doesn't try to force developers into just one box. So whether you need something super lightweight and efficient, like MQTT or CoAP for your low-power devices, or you need the standard web compatibility of a REST API and WebSockets for real-time stuff, the platform is ready. This kind of versatility is absolutely key to being able to connect pretty much any kind of device you can imagine.
So, here's the crucial point. Once all this data from maybe thousands of devices hits the cloud, it can be just pure chaos. You absolutely need a system, a structure, to make any sense of it all. Because without that organization, data is just noise. And worse, it's expensive, useless noise.
This right here is the data management and context layer, and it's designed specifically to turn that chaos into order. So instead of a tangled mess of devices, Favoriot introduces this really logical structure that makes even massive deployments understandable. And this isn't just about being neat and tidy. This structure saves companies thousands of hours in debugging, managing, and scaling up their solutions.
And this illustrates that structure brilliantly. See, everything lives inside a project. Now, within that, you might have multiple applications, and those applications use groups of similar devices, like, say, all the temperature sensors in one building. And then finally, you get down to the individual device. It's a really simple top-down hierarchy that scales beautifully. And what that means is you can go from 10 devices to 10,000 devices without your system even breaking a sweat.
Okay, with all our data neatly organized, we can now move to the most exciting part, the brain. This is the machine learning layer, and this is where we go from simply collecting data to actually learning from it, and even predicting the future. Now, what's really interesting here is the massive leap this represents. A basic rule engine is just reactive. If this happens, then do that. But Favoriot Intelligence is predictive. It learns the normal patterns in your data so it can spot anomalies, things that look weird, and it can even forecast future values. It's the difference between a simple fire alarm and a sophisticated early warning system. So here's how it works under the hood. The platform trains machine learning models on your historical data. Then, an inference engine uses these models to analyze all the new data coming in. But the real genius here is that the output from these smart models actually feeds back into the rule engine. And what that does is create these supercharged, context-aware alerts that are just way more powerful than simple if-then logic.
Okay, we've followed the data from a physical sensor all the way to a smart insight. But look, an insight is completely useless if it doesn't lead to an action. This is the final layer. This is the payoff.
And this is where it all comes together. The platform can shoot an automated alert to your team's Telegram chat. It can prioritize events on a dashboard, showing you exactly what needs your attention right now. It can visualize future trends, and crucially, it can feed these powerful insights through APIs directly into other business systems, completely closing that loop from data all the way to a decision.
And listen, this isn't just some theoretical architecture on a slide. This number, 10,301, that represents a global community of developers who are actively using this platform across 139 countries to build real-world IoT solutions. It's really a testament to the power and the accessibility of this whole layered approach.
So there you have it. We've seen the full journey, from a physical thing through ingestion, organization, and intelligence, all the way to a real-world action. The layers just build on each other to create this incredibly powerful end-to-end system. The only question left is, what kind of problems could you solve with it?